Hi folks, DC from DC's Gadgets. I'm out in the South Brevard beekeeper's yard today. I want to talk about a strange subject for February. I want to talk about getting a honey-bound beehive. And yes, you can have a honey-bound beehive in February. So let's talk about how you get to this position, what it means to be honey-bound. What it actually means is you're not full of honey. It means that the queen doesn't have a place to lay because there's so many resources coming in that your workers are filling the cells full of honey and pollen, and they're taking up the whole chamber because the brood chamber is not big enough. And the reason this happens is because we're into the spring and something happened over the winter that's caused a problem. So let's back up to November. Last November, when all the flows stopped and we started to get ready for winter, this is what most of my beehives look like. I'm just looking at the bottom box. In my bottom box, on the outside, I had food frames. I had food frames here too. Over here, I probably had some food and some brood. And then in the middle of this, I had 4 frames of brood. That was going in November. Everything was looking really good. The top box had some honey in it, maybe some pollen and some empty comb, but everything was looking really good. So Thanksgiving time comes around, drone population is gone, things are getting colder, bees are slowing down, she's not laying as much. So by the end of December, they've used up most of the supplies they had in that bottom box, and it's getting cold. So heat goes up, bees go up. And part of the phenomenon is because we run screen bottom boards, so it exasperates a little bit, but it's still not a big problem. Florida doesn't really have a winter, but it gets a little colder. So what happens now is your bees have used up the stores in the bottom. She's not laying on 4.5 frames anymore. She's laying on 2.5 frames now. She's slowed way down, and everything's condensed. They're trying to hold that heat. So by mid-February, I go and look at my boxes, and this is what I've got. I still got food on the outside. Now I got 2 frames of brood, and I got a frame of food, and everything over here is empty. Because they've used these resources up, they don't want to go over here because they're trying to keep the cluster nice and warm over here. So now comes the problem. February comes around, we get our first big nectar flow going on, but this brood chamber is still right here. And there's a principle about the queen where she's going to lay. She will not go outside that brood chamber to lay eggs. She's not going to pass this food to lay over here. You got 4 frames of empty drawn comb. They will throw a swarm before she goes to the drawn comb. So we got to take some action. You can put a box on top of this because she will go up. But if you put a box on top of this, you got a lot of empty real estate. You're asking for other pests to come in. Best thing to do, take one of these drawn frames of comb. That's drawn comb right there. Okay? Open this brood chamber up right in the middle. Stick it right there. Close it back up. Give her 4 days, maybe 5. If you get a good flow going on, and don't do this, there's not a flow going on. You got a good flow going on, put that in the middle of that. You come back in 5 days, she'll have that thing laid, both sides packed full. Do the same thing again this time. Come over here on this side, take this other empty, move this one over, stick it right in there. Come back in a week, this is all filled up. They'll be so busy in there, they will probably start moving this food over here, and you have to put a super on it. So that's what we're going to do right now. Get in your beehives, look for what's going on. If all your bees are packed to one side, that might be the problem. If you got some empty drawn comb, you're in the middle of a flow, stick it in the middle of your brood nest, open that thing up. Take care.